You ready? Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. As we meet today, we acknowledge that we live in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional and ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We are all treated people with responsibility to each other and to this land. Do we have anyone online in the public forum, Heather? No. Shocking. As usual, I will place motions on the table, ask for a mover and a seconder, and move to discussion. May I have a mover that the agenda of the July 16th, 2025 regular monthly meeting be approved as presented or as amended?
June 16th.
No, that's tonight.
Oh, tonight. Oh,
Okay.
So moved.
That's for tonight.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Gloria and Randy. Approval of the minutes. I've got an amendment question mark. Does that mean that you know there's amendment here, Heather?
I was trying to recall, because I thought you and I discussed something we spotted. Or something.
Okay,
you
I'll put the
spotted.
motion on the table and then you can amend it as appropriate.
Oh, yes.
That the minutes of the June 11th, 2025 annual general meeting be approved as presented or as amended. May I have a motion? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Did you have an amendment?
I do. It's on page 3 of 4. Item 5.4. It's a small correction, just in the second last paragraph. It says Chief Stevens was pleased to report the possibility of a ladder truck being purchased and shared amongst the municipalities. And can we just insert fire departments?
Yeah, because,
So
oh, that's
it's
right.
not-
When I read that, I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out, what are the public works or
Yeah.
whatever? What are they
It's
gonna
not
do with the ladder
municipality
truck?
departments, it's fire departments.
Okay, is that clarified for everyone? So as amended,
Mhm.
I will put the motion on the table. May I have an aye? Aye.
Aye.
All have voted against? Okay. Unanimously passed. Business arising,
Oh, monthly commission last
monthly
month,
commission.
4/2.
Yeah, so the minutes of the June 11th, 2025 regular monthly meeting be approved as presented or amended. May I have a mover and a seconder?
I'll
Thank you,
second it.
Tom. Thank you, Randy. Does anybody have any amendments? Heather?
I realized, again, when we were talking, there was an omission that we left out, that in item, on page 1, item 3, annual election of chair and vice chair, that Randy had been nominated but declined. We didn't put that in. the
Yeah,
minutes,
well,
so
I figured because I declined, it
it should still
didn't
be-
count
It should
anymore.
be.
Yeah.
It should be
Yeah,
in the
sure.
minutes.
I noticed that too, but I thought, well, maybe because I declined,
Yeah.
it erased Tom's
No, it
nomination,
doesn't.
but yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put that back in.
Okay. Any other amendments? Is everyone happy with that amendment? Then we will add that. Okay,
Yeah.
then I would like to call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carried unanimously. Okay, now we get to business arising. Now, correspondence. Okay, we did receive a letter from
Fire service.
from the Fire Services Committee that they would like us to agree to donate the proceeds of the sale of retired fire rescue boat to the Chester Fire Services Committee for the apparatus reserve. Does anyone have any comments about that? That is the motion that I'm putting on the table, that the Chester Village Commission agreed to donate the proceeds of the sale of the retired fire rescue boat to the Chester Fire Services Committee for the apparatus reserve. Mover and seconder? Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Laura. Okay, any discussion on that?
Question, if we hadn't received this letter and we sold the boat, where were we gonna put the money anyway?
What the appropriate place is the reserve.
So it's not asking.
I
for
don't
anything.
think it'll be a huge amount of money.
No, it's just that when the fire
No,
services.
The engines are worth a few
I would
bucks,
be
but other
surprised
than
if they
that,
make
the
money.
boats,
Yeah,
the boat's a tank, yeah.
when the Fire Services Committee does any kind of financial transaction, they have to clear it with both us and the municipality.
Well, actually, the village is the owner of the boat,
Yeah,
so, And anything you sell has to go to reserve regardless, so it's just a question of where.
And we don't have to ask the minister for this one or
We
anything?
will, once.
Well, if
once
someone
it's
bids,
sold.
You know,
Yeah.
automatically
If someone
goes.
bids.
I don't,
Yeah.
so
I thought it had to
me
be
too.
over
we
a
bought it
certain
for
value.
$1.
Yeah.
Does it have to be
Well,
for a
very
certain value
expensive
for that,
purchase.
or no?
I'll double
Well,
check.
I thought it was
The outboard motors are worth something for
I
sure.
think
If they still run.
Twin 180, well, I think they sort of took care of them as best they
Yeah.
could. Anyway. So,
Okay, so
do we
any
need a
further-
motion or are we
Well,
going?
there's motion on the table.
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion? No? Call for the vote. Those in favor? Aye. No objections. Motion carried unanimously. Okay. So that was the first item in correspondence. The second is 6.2 municipal affairs training, 2 items plus 1 ask. Is there any interest in the training offered in the email?
I think the training isn't that if we had done our confidentiality training or whatever that,
Well, the first item is about if there was a new commissioner, that person would need to do the training, but you've all
We
done
don't have.
well, no,
Uh,
yeah.
The second item is they're just orientation and ongoing training, they just, it's on page 18
Yeah.
of your package. They've
It's
got a
like
bit of a
continuing
list.
education or
Of
some
just-
such thing, yeah.
If there was anything anybody was interested in, let me know.
Yeah, and as for the code of conduct investigator, I had a
That's what it
long
was.
chat with the coordinator of the project, and it's extremely expensive if we actually appointed an investigator, we don't have them on a retainer, blah, blah, blah. And what most villages are actually doing is just ignoring it. And worst comes to the worst, if we should happen to need an investigator, we can apply to the municipality to ask them if we can use their investigator, because they have obviously a much larger budget than we do, because you have to keep them on retainer.
So the hope is that your people are honest enough never to get into
One
these
hope.
situations
Yeah.
where that would be required
It's already
because
happened in at least one that I know of.
since code of conduct or before code
It,
of
it,
conduct?
it can
Yeah.
always happen, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, the way that the staff people described it to me, because the villages are somewhat, like, the legislation, when the people wrote the legislation, they were thinking of municipalities, and villages are always like the second thought. And when it became clear that some municipalities are putting out $150,000 a year to keep somebody on retain for this particular thing, which is ridiculous, even if it was 50,000 or 25,000, I mean, we just, it's inappropriate for small villages
And
to do that.
It's fairly unusual. I mean, you say it happened, but how often does it actually happen?
And there is the option, we can go to, again, the provincial coordinator, I guess her title is, and we could ask not necessarily our municipality, we could ask any municipality, could we hire your investigator that they already have on retainer? Now, mind you, it would be very expensive because we would have to pay the actual hourly rate for that person.
Well, he or she was investigating, yeah.
But this seems to be the out right now, is that we don't go forward and appoint an investigator so that we can avoid the cost of it. And if everybody, I won't put this in a motion, I think that we've discussed it, it's on the record, it'll be in the minutes, and I think if everybody is satisfied with this procedure, that we can carry forward. Any objections?
So it would be we're looking at an ad hoc thing if we actually need the
Exactly.
person.
Exactly.
We'll worry about it if it happens.
Yeah, I'm okay. Sure.
So we can then move on. It's just a hair, not quite appropriate, but it is appropriate.
Gray area.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
Okay,
What's the ask, Heather?
For the next one item, you mean?
No, you have 2 items plus 1
Oh,
ask.
that was just the title of the email, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
The ask
Okay, yeah.
was to make sure that anybody knew got the training.
Yes, and that they
And
offer
we've
various
all done,
courses
yeah.
through the year, don't they,
Yeah.
or something?
but they're always hard to get into, is that one.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It was harder to get into the dark thing than it was to take it. Okay, 6.3, Association of Nova Scotia Villages. Is anyone here desperately looking for the opportunity of serving on the ANSB board?
Not me.
No takers? Apparently it's important for advocacy and image raising for villages with the province and the public, and I agree with that. But I'm personally not willing to step forward.
Just a question I had, did they ever hire a full-time employee?
I have not heard anything further about that.
I believe they were looking for a part-time employee,
Oh,
but they
part-time.
were looking for a grant or some way of
Yeah.
funding it, and then
I
I
haven't
think
even
we
seen
approved
the,
a $3,500 a year.
And we just
Possible.
made that up. 'Cause
Yeah.
We haven't received.
Yeah, you're pending the
instruction.
final cost or
Yeah.
something,
I
yeah.
think they were still looking for funding because they haven't sent out they
Yeah.
haven't sent out a job ad or anything.
Yeah, and like I keep waiting to get the next installment, but nothing has come. of it.
Not looking for the job, but that is important.
Yeah, well, yeah. it's a
Well, I
point, yeah.
think if they did get themselves a part-time coordinator, it would go a long way to raising the visibility of the
Yeah.
villages, because that's what happens. We're gonna get to another thing where they're talking about this fire thing that I raised with Heather. And we pay 50% of the fire department here, and they're sending out a provincial questionnaire about administering fire departments, and they only ask municipal staff and members of the fire department. They just completely ignored the fact that villages often are a significant part.
At least
in the fire
50%.
department.
Mitchell did send it around to the villages, which is I think how I first saw it, and then I backtracked and found it in the emails.
Well, it says specifically in it, municipal.
Yeah.
staff.
And I did speak to the consultants. We're jumping ahead a little, this is in my report.
Well, I had to bring this up
Yeah.
because of the whole villages thing.
But I did speak to the consultants to confirm that, yes, they would like to hear from elected officials.
Yeah, well, they could put that in there.
If they could, just.
Okay, and so I assume that no one is rapidly enthused about applying to go on the board. Okay, shall we move on? Reports, chair, that's me. I have very little to report, except the Visitors Information Center is moving along. It's surprisingly doing well, considering that we started it from nothing so quickly. You will recall that the municipality promised us a half of their students, but then that fell through. Then they promised us 1 day a week, and that fell through.
Oh, no.
So,
Didn't know that one. Yeah.
but we do have some lovely volunteers. Unfortunately, our accountant says that we're paying honorariums.
Yeah.
It's essentially $10 an hour, because it's $30 for a 3-hour shift. But our accountant says that after $500, we must issue a T4. And several of our people are in receipt of, I always forget the name of it, but if you're desperately poor and all you've got is your old age security.
GIS.
Supplement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you earn more than $500, then you have to pay back dollar for
Yeah.
dollar, so you can keep 50 cents of every dollar. But what is obscure but true, the next year you lose your GIS for a
Yes.
whole year. So none of our people that are in that financial position can stay after the $500 mark, so we're gonna lose 2 probably.
I have a tricky way that,
I like to turn off the recording.
I have an interesting idea about farmers market dollars that we might be able to,
Yeah,
because we use farmers market dollars to pay volunteers at the Lunenburg Farmers Market, and then they can redeem them for bread or
oh, well, I'll
meat
discuss
or
that with,
fish.
okay, I'll
With your
discuss that with
girls,
some of our
yeah.
people and see if that would work.
Not tricky at all.
Make sure you're not getting into trouble.
Yeah, anyway,
I don't know, though. I
I
mean, if you're not being paid in coin of the realm, what can they say, you
Yeah.
know?
well, I just, I
This
don't
is
wanna,
funny money, I mean, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't wanna put any of our people in the position where they lose their
Yeah.
GIS next year. That would-
So
that would
how
be
do we
terrible.
solve that issue? Do we go to our lawyer and say,
No, it's
this is
not
our
solvable.
Your
plan?
accountant is a better.
Or the accountant, look,
Yeah.
we're gonna give them funny money instead of real money. Is that gonna counting
Is
against
that
the
gonna count?
$500, you
Well,
know?
we'd have to buy it from the farmer's market,
That's right, you buy your
And
dollar.
then
Yeah.
gift it to.
yeah.
Oh, if you gift
But
it,
when we gift it, you
That's not the
better ask
same.
the accountant, like if
Yeah.
we gifted
Let
it, would
him-
that be considered? Because I don't wanna put any of these people
No,
in a bad
no.
position.
Yeah.
So let's just make sure that we don't put
Yeah.
them, I mean, that would be awful for somebody to lose that
Oh,
supplement
yes.
for a
Lousy
whole
$30.
year.
have they,
Yeah.
anybody
Terrible.
reached that level at this point?
One of our people, she's 3 half days a week, she reaches it on July the 23rd.
Ooh,
Yeah, and here's the thing, when I don't have a volunteer, guess who's there?
It's you, yeah.
So it's taking up a great deal more of my time than I anticipated.
Did we put a call out for volunteers on our page?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Or
can certainly
apply for
do
a
it
grant
again.
or something?
The way it worked is because we started so late, we missed all of the deadlines for grants. But
okay.
we had hopes of getting half of the municipality grant, and then it didn't work out. Next year, I am intending to apply for, there's a federal and a provincial seniors grants available. And I'm hoping to get grants for seniors, because seniors just do so much better job than students, you know, they take it
I can
really
see that.
seriously.
Yeah.
And they're really chatty and they know the district, and I mean, when you see them in there, you know, and they're going through the book and they're
Mm.
chatting with people and they're doing a great job.
People trust grannies
Yeah.
much more than they do
Yeah.
young kids.
So I have my fingers crossed for that for next
Next
year.
year, okay.
Okay, so that is the report from the chair. CT report, which is this big guy here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make a point about that?
Yes,
If we can't get that out on time, like, I'm gonna sit through this, I didn't have a chance to read it, I got about 8 o'clock last night. Defer it to the next month. I do read this and I like to read it, and
Oh, I agree. We
if it
kind
got
of came up
deferred,
with this compromise because this was always the piece that would hold up the package, because there's always so much stuff I'm waiting to hear last minute. If we,
say you deferred that a month, and it's not the end of the world.
well, some of it should be timely, I think. Gloria, how do you feel?
things like the reconcile, those, that's
Mm,
done,
yeah.
that's not a problem. It's usually just some of the updates.
I like to read it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so.
Oh, I
Well,
agree.
so do we
I would-
all,
I
but
would much rather. What I
Stay up a
can,
little later and read
what I
it.
can do, I guess, is just add some stuff verbally to the paper when that goes out, because there always is a few things.
Well, here's the thing, put as much as you can out with the package, and then if there are a few things that are delayed, add them at the meeting.
Okay,
Or just put the last budget number, do you know what I mean? And then put an X or something that indicates.
Add as much as you can when the package is ready, and then anything that's last minute, you can add at the last minute.
I think most of this is already, this here was known a while ago, wasn't it?
I wouldn't say that, because there's.
Some of the other things, the fire inspections and things.
Yeah, all that stuff is, that of the, sorry, I know we
The
only do
budget
these
variance?
quarterly.
Yeah,
But there's, especially where this is the first one of the year, there was just a lot of stuff that had to be kind of moved around a bit. And there was still some changes that the auditor wanted us to make based on last year. So all that stuff, it just kind of piled up.
so it
on us
happened
a
till
bit.
the last minute, okay.
Yeah, so, and then we wanna make sure we've got as much of that in as possible before we run the report, so that we can put this together. So putting this together isn't so painful, it's just making sure the numbers are right.
Well, yeah, okay. I see Tom's point, though, a lot,
Oh,
like
I
none of us
totally
saw
agree.
any of this stuff. Well, I saw this because I came this morning and got one, yeah. But I understand why sometimes things are last minute and tight and one thing and another. But I suppose in some way, Yeah, I guess I don't know what the answer to that.
Well,
really
I
is,
think,
yeah.
I think the answer is Heather will give us everything that she's got to the point where we've asked for what, Friday?
Yeah,
Before the
Friday.
Wednesday, and if there's anything last minute, then it will be last minute, but.
Because Heather will have something next month as well. So it's not like we can put this over into another meeting. Then her normal stuff will also be on top of that
Yeah.
next month.
Yeah.
So there's no
It's-
real
it's-
win
It's
on
best to
this.
be
yeah.
as timely as possible rather than
So-
putting things off, I think. Okay,
Okay,
go.
shall I walk through? All right, so, yes, the June bank statement has been reconciled. The village main operations account opened the month with 442,000 and ended with 401. There's a little chart there to show you what the bank balances were, on July 3rd. With the bank account and also with the reserve accounts. So both of the 24-25 HST rebate checks were received and deposited in June. Those do not appear anywhere in the budget variance report because they're not considered income.
Where are they considered, Heather?
Because it's a rebate. Well, I
Okay.
used to-
But it's money coming in.
But it's
Money coming back.
yeah, it's not new money, it's
Okay,
money we've
well,
already outlaid
yeah.
that we're getting partly
Okay,
back, but
okay.
that was the.
That's
instruction
an
from the
accountant
auditor.
thing.
yes, if that's what the auditor
Yeah.
says, you go right with it, yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems
I
odd
do
to me,
put
you know?
the provincial HST one in
Yeah.
because that's not the same thing. But
Okay.
the federal rebate is. not-
Sure,
that's not-
whatever the auditors want, I'm cool with that.
And then we did get, the Q2 tax advance has been received, which is why the number there is higher than what you're seeing as ending the month. But it won't be in the Q1 report, because that's in July. So budget variance, do you wanna jump to that now, or go through the rest of it and then come back to that?
Well, I mean, yeah,
Let's go through your report and then we'll.
yeah, that seems more
Yeah.
logical, yeah.
Fire inspections, just to let you know that the Lido washroom building and the EHS buildings were inspected in June. The Lido washroom building, I got a letter from them confirming everything is good and the deficiencies we had previously have been corrected. And we're not scheduled to be inspected for another 3 years.
What were the deficiencies, Heather?
It was things like, needing to get the chlorine out of the office, like that's
Oh,
where
yeah,
we put
yeah,
the shed
okay.
in, so, and there was just a couple of sensors and things like
Yeah.
that, I'd have to go back and check, but
No.
there's always something, or the date on the fire extinguisher isn't correct or something, so.
Oh, they have to justify them.
The EHS building has one, that one was inspected earlier in the spring, and we had a couple of deficiencies to correct, and those were done. There's one more that they wanna see, the outside propane tanks, they wanna see them get leveled. So I actually have been working with the tenant, because some of these reports that the fire inspector is looking for, some of them we manage and some of them they manage. So anyway, we're in good shape getting that information pulled together, so there's a re-inspection scheduled for August. At that, we should be good by then. Fire governance review, we touched on this a little earlier. So there's an email attached in the package about the review that's being conducted by the Fire Services Association of Nova Scotia. So it's not being done by the province, this is a nonprofit organization, it's kind of an umbrella for fire services.
Have you ever heard of them before? This is
Yeah,
the
I've heard
first
of them.
one, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they hired consultants to come in and do this large scale governance review. So the province, I'm gonna guess, is involved in it somehow, but it's coming from this other group. So there is, I did speak to the consultants and while it's phrased as though it's just staff that they're looking for feedback from, they are happy to get it from elected officials as well. So there's this, I've got the email there, and I also have a screenshot of the survey page, because it's a bit confusing when you get to it, and I circled the one that you're supposed to hit, so that's there. If you're interested in filling it in, I think from this body, it would be useful information. And Victoria Street Bridge, we spoke about that just before the meeting began, but, so I got an update this, today, actually, about the progress of that, which is, we'll see how that goes.
Put it this way, it's tenuous.
Yeah.
Lido Pool, pool opened since our last meeting on June, it opened June 30th. And, use seems to be up this year. Swimming lessons are actually finishing their first 3-week session on
Wow.
Friday. I know it's going
Wow.
fast.
Amazing.
And, the instructor reports that enrollment is up this year. She's got more kids. We provide a lifeguard as backup to the instructor during lessons, and she says the lifeguards have been great spotting livelier kids that could use an extra hand, because with more kids in the pool, it's a lot for her to keep an eye on by herself. Parents apparently have been pleasant. There hasn't been any difficult situations, so that's good to know. Public Works is getting pricing on placing boulders on the parquet that we spoke about last time. They would like to have them in place before race week if
Yeah.
they could,
Yeah.
which would be very
Yeah,
helpful, I
yes.
think.
A question on that. I
Yes,
don't get that. Like, that came up 2 months ago. You showed us.
oh, that's right. I was thinking it was last time.
The boulders down.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna, it's our land, they were gonna make us do the boulders.
Yeah, we have to do
but
it.
we have to do it, but we will pay the maintenance department to do it.
Oh, it's part of our agreement, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things that
2 months?
Public Works is beyond swamped.
Well, should we subcontract it out then?
I'll ask them if that would be helpful.
Because we definitely would like it.
Yeah.
Even Terry could probably do that.
Yep, I can certainly look into that.
So and that's our land right up to the
It is.
pavement, or
Yes,
with allowing for
Yeah,
highways
any of the
only.
back-
Yeah,
Landscape guy.
Yeah, oh, any of the guys, you know, with big trucks could do that.
yeah, because you're gonna need something a fair
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
we're
And
working
Green
with all
Colcat are
outdoors.
all outdoors.
we're working with them now on. things.
Well, you see what they have to say about it anyway,
Yeah.
but we need it done and they
So
think,
now is the time.
yeah, well.
They are
like-
parking on the lawn. You're right.
They are.
Oh, they're going right up on the
Oh,
lawn
yeah,
there
they're
too,
right up
heck.
next to the picnic table.
Yeah,
It's
right
crazy.
straight up.
Little
Um,
buggers.
Okay, so I'll check in with a couple of our other
Thank you.
suppliers and see if somebody can do it quicker. Lido repairs project, the project closeout is on August 15th, which may or may not include the awning to be discussed later. The project reconcile will be shared with the commission next month, so I have to give that to the province anyway.
So what's this, the seawall repairs and
This,
things?
yeah, this was the repair work, so. the
Yeah,
concrete
okay.
Seawall.
Yeah, okay.
and all
I
that.
assume it's no longer leaking.
I wouldn't say that.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't say that.
What's
No,
the-
it's challenging to completely solve that because the bottom of the pool is just sitting on the sand, essentially, like it's not,
But it's
So-
paved, is it not?
it is, but
But on-
underneath.
on
So
the beach.
when the tide comes
Yeah,
and
well.
goes, it's sort of lifting and
Oh, I
sinking,
see,
so-
okay, yeah, I never thought of that.
So we're, I'm not
That, you
very
may
happy.
not be able to ever fix that.
Oh,
I
we
don't
won't be able
think.
to get rid of it entirely. I'm a little unhappy about what we're still seeing, but we're keeping an eye on it and seeing.
Has the chlorine consumption gone down and, you know, all the things that happened as a result of the leakage?
We've actually been pretty on top of the chlorine. I think we were doing not enough last year, which is why we got the,
Okay,
we had a bit more problem with algae than we usually do, but that hasn't. that
so
hasn't
it's
happened
simply
yet.
how much water needs to be put in to bring it back to top?
Yeah.
And
So
is that
maybe-
less than it used to be?
So this is how we can kind of monitor it, because Gippy is down there every single morning, really, really early, and he checks the level, and if it needs a bit more before lessons, like he's doing this around 6 in the
Check the
morning.
level of the chlorine, the level of the water.
The level of the water. So when the lifeguards are the ones who do the test, the pool chemical testing, and they do that a couple times a day. First thing in the morning to see if they need to add anything. At the end of the day, to see what they need to add, how much they need to put in.
How many people peed in the pool?
Exactly.
So all that money we spent on that wall and it hasn't solved our problem, is
Not
that correct?
100%, it would still be worse had we not done the
Okay,
work,
so there is
because it was-
some benefit
Oh,
to it,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let
there's,
me ask it this way,
yeah,
if you compare this year with last year, has he resolved it to say 85% of the problem gone?
I don't know
70%?
yet, he just commented early, like the first week, he was like, ooh, it's still leaking some, so I kind of hit the panic button and called the supplier and was like, do we need to drain it and do some other work, and delay the opening? But the three of us kind of put our heads together and decided we didn't need to do that, Gibby was gonna monitor how it was going. And you already.
Sorry, really early, sorry about that.
So it's kind of an ongoing, we're keeping an eye on it thing, but Gibby can tell how much he has to open up the pumps and refill.
Well,
and-
it's very important we know a comparison between this year and last year.
Yes.
That's a hell of a lot of money to put in for no change.
I mean, there was
I
some,
mean, that means
there
that
was
the
cracks you could
contractor
see
is
right
responsible
through.
for shoddy work.
yeah, there was holes you could see right through last year, so those have all been fixed. Anyway. we'll see.
Anytime you got leakage, then you get undermining. Bigger problems are to come, that's the
Yeah,
issue.
it's just challenging in a
Okay,
facility that was built as long ago as it was.
Yeah, it's not exactly a new pool.
No,
well, I think they originally just poured cement on top of the beach, didn't they?
that's
you have to,
basically
you can't-
why
That was
we're
it,
dealing
yeah.
with this, it's water going underneath. And it
Yeah.
comes in like kind of the seal of the wall at the floor.
Well, I guess you've done what we can, we'll see
If
if
you
we
had
get,
unlimited money and you started over, is there another way to do it? Like
Probably
a,
have to like tear it down and build something else.
put it on land, probably would be what you do,
Have it, raised up.
but that has its own issues.
probably
You would
way-
never, if it wasn't, the legal pool never worked, but if you weren't gonna go that route, you never would have put it there.
No, okay.
So we will continue to monitor that. I mean, there's gonna be repairs needed annually, but I determine that there's been some not good
Yeah,
enough work.
I think we need to determine if the quality of the work was appropriate.
Yeah, if that's.
Well, and if
or-
this, why did this guy not know that this was an issue?
Oh,
And tell
yeah.
you, look, guys, I can only do so much here, you've got that problem underneath, you
Yeah, was
know?
this the understanding, Heather, there'd be no leaks?
No,
You didn't say that.
no.
Okay, well,
I
if he
think
didn't
that-
promise it,
that's,
then
That's
that's,
really not possible, we're just giving the location of it. We're just looking for it not to be as bad as it was. And-
well, yeah.
And not even as much so for the leak in terms of the water level, but just for not more disintegration of the concrete, so.
Got the cracks there.
And, well, having most of it, 2/3 of the outside wall were completely,
They spurged
taken
them all,
back like
yeah,
6
yeah.
months and redone, 6 months, 6 inches and redone.
Oh,
I'd like to
okay.
do the other piece, but I don't know what
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
gonna look like.
So is there any kind of data that's being collected on whether, I mean, other than Gippy saying, well, we lost a couple of gallons this day, or, I guess it's
I
pretty
think I have to get
hard.
him to start writing it down, like, well, I have data for
Well,
chemical use and everything,
Yeah,
but,
okay, so we get hit with another big bill, and
yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of wanna know where we're going here.
at least we'll know whether, like you said, we got 80% of it stopped or not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, moving on.
And some of it's hard to tell too, some of it's just evaporation.
hmm,
Okay,
public washroom
okay, so
Lido, yeah.
accessibility, so the washroom interior upgrades have been completed except for the new signage. We are having an issue with the door lock timer on a new exterior door lever. Don't know why, because it doesn't really have a handle, it's just the latch, but I have a service call into the folks who installed the door timer to come down and deal with that. So the tactile signage has been ordered and will be installed by Public Works. And these are, Geraldine will appreciate this, these are they're wall mounted with double-sided tape, so it's quite simple, but they feature the updated symbols like the active wheelchair symbol and things like that, so they're definitely best practice right now. So it's got the symbols, it's got braille, it's got raised imprints on the fire map and so on, so those will be nice to have for them. And I'm still waiting for the final cost on the ramp.
What is the holdup on that?
It's just, they're so busy. It's just, everybody's really busy. Having a heck of a time getting a hold of anybody. Or when I do, they're like, I'm really sorry, I was gonna do it this week and then this happened. Yeah, it's a tough time of year.
Okay,
They're gonna do that in the fall anyway.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not happening for the fall, but I
Yeah.
would like to, I want to price well before they do it. Okay, but we did get some new engineering drawings to really work out, because there is a spot where some of the, you know how there's those vents in the pool that
Yeah.
the water comes through? And there's-
Hmm.
We have to go through the ramp at one spot with one of those, so. So we needed some drawings to make that safe. Village newsletter went out, I presume everybody got one. And I was just saying, if anybody hears any feedback, let us know. IT, MJSB was in last week to do password resets on the hardware and G23 report that they have what they need now from MJSB for the transfer. And they'll be starting their installation next week. So I should be getting a bit more, more frequent updates about this, and I can just email them up to you.
So I take it our email will be seamless supposedly,
Yeah.
so
there's a-
we
there's
won't
a-
really notice any difference.
There's a possibility that it might have to go down for a couple of hours while they
Oh, yeah,
switch
but-
everything over, but other than that.
Maybe at one particular point for a very short time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, just to move.
these things never
Move the
go
data.
smoothly. I've
No,
been
they
to
never
a few of them.
That's always the funny thing.
At the pharmacy, we had a couple of those, you know, oh, yeah, it'd be seamless transfer, oh, that boy, a couple hours, you know, 6 days
2 months
later, you're
later,
still
whatever.
figuring it out. Yeah,
Okay, so, budget variance report for Q1.
is that
It's
it?
pretty much sitting where you would expect it to be at this time of the year. We're 25% through the year, so 75% is remaining. Certain things have had their full annual cost done, and certain other things haven't come up yet. because
3 and
it's been a year. So just to quickly go through some of the items that had notes on them, so on the first page there, under revenue. So this shows the property tax revenue that came in for Q1. So this is the revenue figure minus an overpayment from last year that got recaptured, so. the
That's
next
why it's only
installment-
98,000,
The
okay.
next installments will be higher. That's accounted for in the overall budget, but they took it all out in one.
That one's smash, okay.
And then there's some figures in here under other revenue from the fire services committee for administrative hours from the two of us and rent. But this is actually the last installment, again, from 24-25 that we received in April, so.
So how does that
So
affect the final budgeted amount then?
I would anticipate that we'll, because in Q1, we're getting Q4 from last year, so
Yeah.
they'll all kind of stagger a little, because they get the bill at the end of the quarter.
This will be a yearly thing.
Probably, yeah.
Next year it'll be the same.
Yeah, so this year we'll still have 4 quarters, but it'll be Q4 from last year.
it'll always be,
Okay.
it'll always be a quarter behind or ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just that when you're looking at the budgeted amount, this is the one that the actual is from last year, not the budgeted amount that we have for this year. But
Although we'll
I assume
see,
it's-
we may be able to, we may be able to still, depending on when we get things in, we may be able to apply it to the previous year if the auditor lets us do that, but The changeover of the years. we have
It
to-
says it's consistent every year.
They have a different year end than we do
No,
too.
they have the same.
Oh,
Same
do they?
year.
Okay.
It's just they don't get the bill till the end of the quarter. so
Oh,
that-
yeah.
We
okay.
can bill them for.
Well,
times
no,
we
it's
have.
just, I was just wondering how that affected the 49,100 that we budgeted for income. Is that income gonna be plus the 15,900? No,
No.
that's included.
I don't think so anyway. It
Okay.
depends on whether we get ourselves super efficient in pre-bill. We'll try and do that.
Yeah, okay, no, and I looked at, 67% left, and I'm thinking, well, how does that work with last year coming in now? But
Yeah.
I'll take your word for that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and then same with the rental income there. So we basically received 75% of our revenue, so everything seems to be pretty spot on. As far as governance goes, the annual general meeting, these are some of the ones we talked about last time that we knew we weren't gonna have a full spend because we didn't rent a space. Like, we weren't able to put out a flyer, which was why we had a higher number in the first place because of the postal strike that was happening at the time, and then the election didn't really happen, so that didn't get spent either, so this is all gonna be a little under. Commissioner honorarium, that's just the workers' compensation payment, again, from the last quarter of the previous year. So, you've all gotten your Q1 ones now, but it doesn't show up here until next time. Commissioner meeting pay, we'd only gotten expenses for the accessibility committee, but if you folks have anything between March and now, let me know, and you'll need to just get me an expense report and we'll get you caught up. The laptops and tablets were purchased, so that's complete for the year. Nothing else exciting in that section, I don't think. Any questions about that one?
Oh, the nonprofit tax exemptions and the low income tax exemptions. We don't have data on that yet?
No, we don't get, because their tax goes out twice a year, in April and September. So by mid-year, they should be able, like at the end of Q2, I'll be able to get an interim report. And then I get the final amount at the.
So it's at the far end of the year, okay.
Yeah, so we are getting at least an interim now and not waiting for the. full
Yeah,
year.
that's much better.
So we have an idea where we're sitting.
Elections, 254, what was that?
That was
year?
advertising,
Oh, okay.
but that was all that got done for elections.
Which is great. 90% left. I like that.
Yeah, and administration, I don't really have a lot to flag there except potentially office supplies and expenses, no. Office equipment and programs. That one has like 2/3 of that amount that's been posted, and it's the last item in administration. Because that's at 50%, but most of that figure is annual renewals. So that's our annual renewal for Sage and for Adobe, and no, actually, sorry, Adobe bills monthly, just for Sage, and it's in the notes.
Where are you now? Let's see.
All right, I jumped down to 54.95, the last item. in administration.
Okay, I had a question about training and travel, 5465.
Mhm.
So we're one quarter in and we've used almost half of the money allotted, according to your figures.
Training and travel?
Well, I think that's the one.
86%.
No, we've only used.
Well, what's the one that's 58%?
56,000,
Oh, bank charges.
Bank charges, why are we half a year's worth? Sorry, it wasn't
Yeah,
training and
no,
travel.
no, that is probably EFTs, yeah. Yeah, because we now do some EFTs.
No, it's significantly a chunk of what we budgeted
Yeah.
for the year in one quarter. So, I mean, I realize there's very little we can probably do about it, but I just wondered why that
Yeah, at the
was.
budgeting stage, we probably just increased that by CPI and not thinking about the EFTs actually costing us.
Yeah.
And we should
That's
ask,
what I-
we should ask about a bigger package, because
Yeah, cause
you can buy a
do.
bigger package, like business ones too, because through COVID, if you weren't paying attention, all of a sudden you're paying hundreds of dollars for all these e-transfer fees. And same with the farmer's market.
Well, yeah, yeah.
They have they can't, maybe the manager can do it, but they farm you out, or they have a commercial person, and they'll sell you a different, you pay $100 or $200 a month, but it includes 100 transactions or something, so it might be worth pursuing if you
Yeah, well, I have to talk
If
to
you
the
see the
bank
manager,
about
yeah,
something
ask
else
her.
anyways.
tell her to sort it out.
Okay, I'll see what they can do. Let's see, what else we can do.
So I'm sorry, 5490, note 15. That, I mean, we're on track for the moment, or the 472 seems to be an odd sort of figure. That, you
What
got
that
a
is-
note on that, don't you?
Yeah, I do, so we actually had a bill for $13.79 for, which is the McDonald insurance, and that's injury.
Oh, okay,
That's for the commissioners,
okay, okay.
so that's different than the medical insurance.
So we've
And-
not yet actually
But-
seen our insurance. yet.
No, we
Yeah.
don't get that till October.
Okay, okay.
And then we also got the repay of the fire hall building insurance again
Oh,
also in
okay.
April, so that took that down.
Okay. No, that's fine. I just thought it was an odd amounted figure. Usually insurance is in the thousands. It's never in the
Oh, yeah.
hundreds, right? And now the office equipment and programs,
Yes.
which is 5495, we are half spent.
That's the
in
one
one
I was starting
quarter.
to talk to
Oh, I'm
because
sorry, yeah.
most of that figure, like
So,
over 2,300 of that
There's a note
figure of 3,000. So like 3/4 of that figure is actually annual renewals for
oh, so
Sage,
they're paid
Zoom,
now, okay.
and so those are done for the year.
Okay, yeah, I think I had marked myself that may be okay or something there.
Yeah,
All right,
So that
anybody
one
else
will-
got anything they wanna say about
those
it?
ones won't be in there again. Anything else with administration?
That was it for me. And I was just nitpicking,
No,
actually,
it's
quite
okay.
frankly, but,
That's what this is.
because
for.
you got 75% left on almost all of the bulk
Hmm.
parts, but I just wanted an explanation, but.
So, actually, I didn't put a note on this one, I should have. So under protection, so streetlights power, that's just incremental, so that's.
Yeah,
similar
that's
to spec.
fine.
The streetlight maintenance was
That-
complete.
So that 1.74% left is just left now.
It's just
There'll be
left,
no
yeah.
more of it.
It's
Okay,
completed, that one.
okay, that was my question.
Unless we have something else.
I'm just gonna say.
Unless we have something else happen, but we do have a reserve. And then the crossing guards, again, that's just their.
The baskets are
incidental.
finished, so.
The baskets
yeah.
are, we put through the 100% of the contract with Carrie, but we pay it out incrementally, but all of it is.
Yeah, but it's nice to know how much we're gonna have to spend, yeah,
So
exactly.
that's 100%.
On those flowers,
Mm-hmm.
I forget now, what is it we pay for the flowers themselves?
Not quite $50.
Oh, yeah, that's 22
No,
grand
I
including
was at
carry,
New
yeah.
Ross, I was through New Ross, and their baskets are beautiful, I thought they probably out there probably make them. I just wondered what they charged.
Who has a nursery in Newell?
Because what we found, because one year we had tried, I don't know, was you or Ray was on the commission, and we tried 10 baskets with different color
Yeah.
petunias.
Hmm.
And they didn't do well because of the saltwater there, salt there.
I got a compliment with the baskets from Bridgewater of all places.
Well, they look
had
nice.
Baskets and they're very nice, and she said, nothing compares to Chester.
They look nice this year, dark
Yeah.
purpley, really.
Yeah,
They really
Those,
stand
you know
strong
out.
what,
color.
they look
Stand
purple,
out,
right, but you know
yeah.
what they're called blue,
Yeah.
those are blue.
Whatever it is, it's a
Yeah.
very strong color this year,
I
really.
think that's the third year we've had that color. isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I love
But no,
it.
I just wondered, cause I was out in New Ross,
Mhm.
and their baskets, they're like ours, right? But they're pink on the top and they got some, I forget what's around the sides of them.
Same flower?
And no, they're a lighter color, but you could probably get whatever color you want. Yeah, they're beautiful. And they're not scraggly, like long and straight, that,
And we have that extra challenge of the salt spray
Yeah.
and
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's a little trickier.
Just wondered who done their baskets and what they charged.
We can certainly find out.
Yeah, check it out, just to see, cause you wouldn't have as much damage, there'd be no damage to them, because the bottoms of them are moss, like the moss stuff.
Sphagnum, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know
It
what's
in the
bottom.
basket, you mean?
It's in the
I think
basket.
I think
Ours
ours
are
are.
too.
Yeah,
Holds the water.
yeah,
But we have the same thing lining on ours.
but these just aren't really good,
Ours are from the village nursery.
yeah.
Well, they did a nice job with them. They're
Yeah,
very,
it's K and D, I think. is
very
the-
nice. More so,
K&D
some years they're kind of
Next time
washy.
somebody goes through, do it, take a picture.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we learned though is that in the past, we had some that didn't stand up to the salt, and these ones, crossing your fingers
They're
so
doing
far,
well.
have
They're
been
more
doing
successful.
really well,
Yeah.
so, you know, don't change something that's working.
I know, I used to, well, we grew them at Walters and we watered them,
Do you?
did for a couple of years, so. I mean, if I was out in the morning going, right, I'm back at the
We don't have any sense yet about reef costs. That's just a placeholder there, isn't it?
We
Yeah.
don't order those until the fall,
Okay.
so that'll be a little ways away. So economic development, the percent that's been spent in tourism attraction projects, that was Saltscapes, which also included getting the banner that we can reuse
Yeah.
Okay.
and the giveaways and accommodation.
And VIC is about halfway through their budgeted amount.
That's what's been paid out to date in this fiscal.
Yeah.
I mean, we know
Well,
that
we-
we have rent that's coming. We
Yeah,
know we
yeah.
have, like, the
We did 10 grand, so that should do it for the summer, I would think.
Mm,
Well, yeah, more or less,
yeah,
yeah.
we know kind of what else we have earmarked against that.
Does that 4579 include the rent for that quarter one?
It does.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
well.
rent, internet, phone.
Yeah, all the
library,
usual
all
stuff.
that
Yeah. Okay,
And highway directional signs, we haven't done anything with and may or may not, we'll. have to
see, we got the money next year.
Uh, So
16.
miscellaneous operations, we don't have, we haven't had a bill yet for the summer compost collection. Property maintenance is pretty much on track, public washrooms is a smidge high, but there's always a bit at the beginning when there's more hours getting it open.
Yeah.
So, you know, the pumps have to be redone. I know that we actually had to do quite a bit with, some pump replacement this year.
So property maintenance costs include all our far-flung holdings of property
And the mowing and whatnot.
everywhere. Yeah, the
Is
jib
that
lot.
included
and
up
all-
at the fire hall? Is
What's that?
Up at the fire hall, there's trees along the south side of that building, usually should be trimmed. They're growing into the roof.
The,
Is that out of this?
Whatever like that would be the fire committee's responsibility, but I don't know what contract they have up there.
If they need something done, they'll
Yeah.
get somebody to do.
They're
it.
bad.
Yeah.
So they now are gonna be looking after that kind of stuff themselves.
Yeah.
It's not our thing.
Because we
anymore.
use a lot of the same suppliers, because the same supplier does like plows the EHS station and also the fire department, they just bill it separately, so.
Yeah, and apparently, if I understood the various conversations correctly, that building is really not reusable, and so they're probably not planning to put a great deal of money into it, just keep it.
They had some repairs, they had to, remember we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
before about.
I mean, they have to keep it
whatnot.
repaired to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
Well,
Yeah.
Because we know they're gonna live there for a bit yet, so.
They budgeted 50 grand.
Yeah.
And I was here, and we actually brought a professional in, assessed that whole building. And structurally, it was fine. And then there was a new roof put on, new heating system put in, all new windows.
Mhm.
That building's worth a lot of money. I've even had people approach me, I want to sell No idea, not even,
And
not
that-
on
and
the fire
that's,
department, that won't be sold.
that's a complicated thing, because while it's municipal land that we got while it's in use as a public building, so when it's no longer in use as a public building, I don't.
We then own the building and they own the land, is
Yeah.
the way I
I
see
thought
it.
that was resolved in the old land.
No,
No, I don't think they ever gave it
The,
up.
the agreement I've seen, which
Have
was
you seen that
a pretty
agreement?
old one, yeah.
yeah, I've seen it too.
It's on our server
It's,
somewhere.
it's a lawyer's conundrum.
Yeah, but it does basically say if it's no longer needed as a public building, then it reverts to the
Yeah.
municipality, and there's some amount of payment involved.
Once it's no
That's the
longer
only-
a fire department, yeah, we get some modest compensation, but it reverts back to the municipality.
No,
And you're absolutely certain of it,
pardon me,
you're absolutely certain,
I'm
no
not a
question.
lawyer, so I wouldn't wanna say I'm absolutely.
That is the lawyer's opinion.
That's all I've ever heard, was that it
Yeah.
went back there.
Yeah,
So, and they, actually, I had a question months ago from the municipality going, so do you know what you're gonna do with that? That building once they move? And the Commission hasn't even talked about it, we'll cross that bridge. when we
Well, it'll
get
be a
to it.
while yet, I think.
Yeah, we don't even have a date, so.
I mean, it could be years yet.
So Heather, the taxes,
Yeah.
land taxes on water lot taxes, that's basically, those two figures in red are our 50% for the year.
Yes.
So they'll be,
Any of the taxes paid out.
yes,
to
are
the
all at
municipality
50%.
Are all 50%.
Okay, I sort of figured that was
The
true.
next billing comes in September.
Yeah, but those figures represent a half of what we're likely gonna have to pay. Land, oh, waste collection fee. I was gonna say, there's another number 20 further down, but it's the same deal.
Yeah,
It's taxes.
yeah, it's all, it's the same note on all of the tax items, so it's 50%. So Jib lot, the fence removal is complete, so
That's
that's
done,
done.
yeah.
And then everything else is,
Doesn't look too
maintenance is at
bad.
75%, as one would expect, and then the taxes are at 50, which we just discussed, so everybody is.
Well, we only got
It's all
30,
landing properly.
only 36% left in that particular budget item.
Because most of it's complete.
It should be finished, and that might be all it takes, yeah.
And then Lido Pool, there's not much of anything against it yet in Q1. We've got some of the setup maintenance. I don't even have the full billing yet for some of that. And of course, the pool wasn't open yet, so this is some of the preparation, but not all of it, and it doesn't have any of the operation yet, so this one will look. Because it only operates in Q2, so this will look
Yeah.
a little different next
Yeah, it
time we
will,
get
yeah.
this. And then reserves, obviously, that's a Q4 thing, so. So we seem to be sitting exactly where we would expect to be.
Pretty well, yeah. When you add all the bulk up, it looks pretty good, yeah.
So any other, that's just the operations one, there's not as much with the others. So for capital budget. This is the deferred amount of the two grants that we brought over to this year. And most of the capital repairs one is complete now, there's a little bit left, which we'll talk about a little later, and then the retrofit has started, but no billing for Q1.
So those two number ones on that page are basically, they're just placeholders or something, or leftover money or
It
whatever?
was, yes, it was deferred from last year, so this is what was left of those project funds that we got permission to push into this year.
So
So we
those,
already had it.
those two values stay the same is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That, I couldn't quite understand that at first, like, why it was in the green
It's
and in the red, you
The
know?
green is the budget line,
Yeah,
and then the red is the actual.
what we actually have,
What we actually.
which is
have
the
spent
same
so
exact
far.
figure that's in the budget line.
Yeah, with that one, because we already.
Yeah,
So that's 100%.
I was sort of suspected that was the case.
And then, the next page is the EMC building, which we don't have a ton on this year. So we're showing the first quarter's rental income, under revenue. And then when we get to expenses, there's been fairly minor repair work so far, so we've got lots of that.
Oh, EMC, yeah, that's right.
And 50% of the taxes as the other ones, reserve deposit later. We don't have any capital projects planned for this yet.
that for
I
me
left it
now?
on there just because you know. And, but there's nothing planned. The only thing we had planned ahead was the painting, that's a maintenance thing, and that hasn't happened yet, so. I was in touch with him this week to see where he was at. It looks like it'll probably be in the next 2 weeks.
So we pay, yeah, no, that's just another 50% already paid on taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones that caught my eye when I was, oh my God, 50% gone already and it's Q1. But taxes, of course, are just
not
two
everything
shots.
is incremental,
Yeah.
sometimes things are. 100%,
And taxes are just
others
50 and 50, yeah, that's, yeah.
Anyone have any questions or concerns? And there are notes there that cover a bit more than we've spoken to. And then the only other items on here are just the attachments about the governance review and the bridge. So that you have that.
The awning thing for the Lido.
That's coming up.
We'll be talking
haven't
about.
hit-
Oh, okay, because I see capital repairs and
Mhm.
I know we repaired the wall, but I don't see where the awning is coming up. Okay, that's fine.
We'll be talking about
We're doing that.
that
later.
later,
Oh, this is in camera. Okay.
just because we have multiple quotes.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay. Any further questions for Heather about her report?
No, nicely done, Heather.
Okay, Lunenburg County Accessibility Advisory Committee, which is me, and we haven't had any meetings there. Putting it on.
Just for the summer.
Yeah, they're putting it off. Well, there's some staff work going on, but there's no meeting. Randy, your committee?
Absolutely canceled and canceled.
Okay,
So right up until July have been canceled.
yeah, most.
So
are
there's
in the
nothing
summer.
to report. Well, there was nothing, no items on the agenda, so we just decided. But you never know until it's almost time. And then you get something from Garth saying, well, due to there being no items on the agenda, it's canceled,
You're
right?
safe till September.
Yeah, I would say likely. Anyway, I have nothing to report that's recent of any sort. So.
And then the EDI, Laura,
Same.
well, we went to the flag raising. if
We
nothing
did, we
else.
did.
Oh, up to the pride thing, did you? Yeah.
But we did.
I was gonna go on something, I forget what come up on something.
It was Laura, Heather, and me,
You, I would say, yeah.
Many people there?
and not as many as last year, apparently.
Yeah,
Couple of
the
them.
weather was
Yeah.
very dodgy.
Was it inside or did they
Oh,
hold
no,
it?
they
Yeah,
did do it outside
Yeah.
because it didn't have, that big rain they were expecting didn't actually come overnight, but it was.
Yeah, everybody was kind of
Touch and
waiting.
go.
Yeah, there's a big pride thing in the city this weekend. Okay.
Yeah, Nova
That'll be
Scotia
bad.
Pride is in July, so.
Yeah. Okay, so there is no new business. Anyone feel that, wait a minute, what happened to our awning? Oh, that's in
that's in
camera.
camera, yeah.
Okay, anybody feel a need for a commissioner roundtable before we go to in camera? No? I place on the table that commission move in camera as per section 408B2 of the Municipal Government Act to discuss contract negotiations. May I have a mover and seconder?
So moved.
Thank
Oh.
you. Second, Gloria. Call to order. I call this